Hi, Carl here for ProAV TV. I'm joined once again by my good friend Jim Marks, just before we host our Panasonic Open Day with ProAV Raw, things like that. Welcome to part 3 of our little chats.
Little chat. I like little chats.
Little chats.
Fireside.
Little camera chats.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we touched very, very briefly in one of the previous interviews on when you pick up the big cameras and when you pick up the small cameras. But I wanted to just go a little bit more in depth with that because you've used so many cameras over your career.
I have.
And you were so used to smaller cameras working in stills. I mean, stills cameras, even the biggest stills cameras.
That is true.
Are way smaller than video cameras.
Way smaller than video cameras. Right tool for the right job.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like my earlier facetious comment where I said it depends on the level of money you're paid. It does slightly sometimes still, but it's just using what makes you comfortable. And also, it does depend on how you're getting to the job. Are you flying? Do you have carry-on luggage? Do you need more than one body? And then I call it, and I'm going to patent this so you can't use it, it's the pyramid of pain.
Oh, really?
Bear with me. Let me explain the pyramid.
Please explain.
For the pyramid of pain. At the top of the pyramid is a camera.
Okay.
Whatever you're using. If it's an Alexa, you need 3 people.
Gotcha.
Because it's very heavy.
Yes.
If it's very heavy, you need a giant slider. A giant crane, you need more power. You catch my drift.
Things just get bigger.
Things just get bigger.
And bigger.
And it always comes from the top, which is the camera.
Yep.
Always, 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 always. So, but there are times when having a bigger camera with everything built in is quicker and better, and obviously they can do more because they're bigger processors and better codecs. But there are also times when actually going small is better. Do you know what I mean? And it does also depend on what you're shooting. On a commercial, that might make perfect sense. If I'm doing a very bit of street documentary with people who've not been filmed before, that might make sense. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
GH5 or GH5S might make sense because it's not going to intimidate my subject. Frankly, I can film without permission in London with this. Yep. You put that on sticks in London, men in high-vis jackets crawl out of places you've never seen, demanding passes and permits, which is another story. Do you know what I mean? So it depends on what kind of project it is, what kind of budget, but also that pyramid of pain. You know, that needs a bigger slider than this does. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Exactly. And are we running 1 body, 3 bodies? How are we working it? I think the important thing though is that, excuse me, that's my winter cough. I think the important thing is that they all cut together. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to have A, B and C, they must all cut together very easily. The colour must all be the same. I do not, in this day and age, want to spend hours trying to match cameras that don't match or don't want to play together. Do you know what I mean? And obviously you can jam them with timecode and all sorts of joy, and you can make them all sync together. So that makes it easier in the edit. Absolutely. Or as we did at the beginning of this film, viewers, use a clap, which is actually doesn't need charging and works every time.
There is that. The simple ways are sometimes the best.
Sometimes the best. I mean, and also remember, look, I mean, tiny camera, tiny lens. Larger camera, much larger lens. Do you know what I mean? Let's
go through this rig a little bit because this is your rig. This is what you use when you use your Eva in its fully kitted out mode.
And because I've learned from past errors, it's built in the bag.
Yes.
So it comes out, the V-lock goes on, turn it on, and I can shoot.
So you rocked up this morning on your motorbike.
I did.
With 1 bag on the back, pulled that out and whacked on one of our tripods.
Yes, much easier. We quickly, obviously, mat box on the front.
Yep.
Working backwards, I actually have some motors here because just because I like if I want to motorise it. Equally, if I don't, on the other side, follow focus.
Yep.
Okay.
So engage and I
can just pop them in and out. I've actually extended this handle out so that it's actually with a wooden camera extension here. So I pushed it out so that I can actually have the camera on my hip and control it here and almost like wear it like a guitar, which I know sounds very 70s of me, but give me that dream. Okay. V-lock plate on the back, top plate, top handle which has some controls on, and my very trusty small HD focus here, because obviously the Eva as it is, it does come with a sort of what I would call a monitor, but I see it more as a kind of control panel, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, you press that home button on the Eva and you get that lovely little interface.
And what it can do, the way I use it often is I have it at the back, so you see it here. So actually if I'm on the other side of the camera, that then actually becomes the director's, client's, Please don't disturb me. Can you look at this, please?
Yep.
So you've got something.
Get out of my face monitor.
Yeah, but it's built into the camera. I don't need to. I'm not losing a port by having that because it's got.
You don't have to power it.
I don't have to power it. It's come through here or through the internal.
Yep.
It's kept my SDIs and it's kept my HDMI separate for other things. You know, if I want to do ProAV RAW or something like that. So that is the big kahuna, if you like.
So you mentioned sometimes working with a big camera, although it's bigger and there's more to go on, you get that pyramid of pain starting to come in, it can make your life easier and
quicker.
faster and quicker.
Yeah, especially on bigger commercials where I want to run a bigger zoom on it. Absolutely.
What is it about this that means that that's possible?
What? That allows me
to work faster.
To work faster. Fundamentally, it's the lens on the front. I don't have to change glass.
Yeah.
And I can just there are many good cinema zooms available, but once you have one, you then go, oh, I'll just stick with this then. I don't have to change lens. I can just go out and film 99% of everything very quickly. Also, the ISO rates on this camera, because again, I can add light, but I can operate in very low light, so I can just jump in and out. And the fact I can punch my NDs in, dush, 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 dush. It doesn't make that noise.
Doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, there's always room in a firmware. We've got the recording now. I'll send it to Panasonic.
Don't know why it goes up, but anyway. But cameras, and forgive me this, they're a little like motorcycles in that you customize them to fit yourself. Okay, this camera has been customized by me. No one else will have theirs the same. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And also, more importantly, if I go to the other side, you've got like 8 function keys on this camera. So you can change what they do.
Assignable buttons.
All assignable buttons. So I'll have my favourites. The digital punch in, the electronic stabilisation that I can put with a tiny crop, which is really, really useful. That I can put in, and I'll have them all programmed as I want them. They're not as Panasonic, God bless them, gave us. When it left. Same with this. To be fair, same with the GH5 and the GH5S.
I mean, with all its menu functions and different function screens, that has something crazy like.
Yeah.
I think it's 16 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
ridiculous.
I mean, the clever things about these is that you can shortcut everything. Yes, you can press menu and go through it, but actually you've got C1, C2, C3.
Yep.
So I would have conventional shooting at narrative, and then I'd do 50-60 at C1. I'd do slow motion at C2, and then C3 with time lapse. And all I'm doing is turning that dial, and I'm straight to where I want to go really, really quickly. So yes, and these also build your time lapse internally in 10-bit, and actually saves you doing all of that in post at home. For
a quick establishing shot.
Yes,
to time lapse.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
And it's not like the old days. Remember the old days where perhaps we only had one camera and then we had to de-rig it and change it to do something. If you have a couple of cameras, well, if I need a one-handed gimbal shot, it's far quicker for me just to run that than de-rig that. Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
So you're always going with a couple of options, just so you can jump quickly depending on what you get told to do on the day.
So for those starting out and building it up as, say, a small production company doing corporate gigs, that sort of thing.
Yes.
I mean, nearly always they are starting on something like that.
Yes.
At what point do you feel taking this step up to a larger camera like this is justified and it's worth investing in? It's
worth investing if you've got the work. I have this.
Yeah.
I have a couple of rules which I'll obviously break. The first one is if you spend £1 on a camera, spend £1 on something else. Okay, and I know that sounds silly, but if you spend £1,000 on a camera, spend £1,000 on lighting, tripods, grip, audio, the other stuff. Otherwise, you end up don't buy a really good camera and put a terrible stillness lens on the front. I think that is an error when you put stills lenses, because you get such a better quality of finish. Even these cameras as well, being micro four thirds. Yep. The joy is they fit everything. Yep. You can adapt anything to that mount.
And you don't have to spend a crazy amount of money to get some really nice lenses, support gear, lights, that sort of thing.
These are £1,400.
Yeah.
Kicking off. This now is down to just over £4,000 plus VAT.
Yeah.
Yes, it's more money. Fundamentally, it's more or less double. Okay. I think you do it when you've started out and you've got a system that works and you're making money.
Yeah.
Don't Don't buy kit in the anticipation you'll get the work. Hopefully it's the other way around.
Yes. In an ideal world.
I can't say I do that, but that's the aim. That's the dream. Exactly. But also buy stuff that you can hopefully pay for, but that you can grow with you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This camera, it's not going to get obsolete in that it's just fantastic codecs, great low light, and I can put anything I want on it because it's a kind of brilliant manual cinema camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you so much for spending the time to talk to us
pleasure.
today. Thank you so much to everyone out there for watching. If you want more information or have questions for Jim, leave them down in the comment section down below and I'll pass any questions on to Jim and we'll get you some answers. If you want to buy any of the equipment we've talked about here today, just get in touch with our sales team or the links to them all links to them on our website are down in the description down below. Fluffed that a little bit, didn't I?
I thought you recovered beautifully.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again for joining us. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.